Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys, could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course, I always do greatly appreciate it. Now, with that being said, on the 24-hour span, we are seeing some major price moves throughout the entire market. I'm actually going to center this around two specific assets real quick, ZRX and SNX real quick, and kind of compare it to things that are happening within this market. There has been a lot of price movement, especially on the 7-day span in terms of altcoins. I have been kind of addressing this. I even addressed it in a video from earlier today where I was basically showing you guys the altcoin dominance compared to most of the other assets within this market, more so just centered around Bitcoin and Ethereum. Altcoins look extremely strong compared to Bitcoin right now, and I would say this, when we look at ZRX and SNX, they're really kind of putting a little bit of a better picture for us in terms of the all-time charts for these. If anybody was here during the DeFi summer of 2020, SNX is actually a very good example, by the way. We see, SNX having this major sideways momentum, followed by that incredible price move, followed by that nice pullback, and then a 10x opportunity here. Overall, when we look at the current structure for this, it looks like we are, really kind of ranging to have a repeat of that DeFi summer, or possibly even have that repeat of the move from, again, November to around roughly February. This is almost like a 10x opportunity here, which is pretty significant. Obviously, a 10x opportunity from here would be insane. It would be like $68. But I'm just saying, like, when we look at a lot of altcoins, they are looking very strong. We are seeing some incredible, volume as well. ZRX, over 2,800% of an increase in volume. This was one of the altcoins that really kind of showed a lot of strength during 2020, but also in 2021 is when it really started to move in terms of price. But this also did take some nice moves in DeFi summer, obviously, as you guys do see, before having that pullback, again bottoming out in around like the November timeframe. And then it did do that major move during around it was roughly April of 2021. So, again, a lot of these altcoins are really kind of putting a clear picture that altcoins are getting a lot of attention. We are seeing a lot of volume kind of, moving throughout this entire market. When we look at XRP, everybody's still waiting, a major XRP movement. But the thing is that this is a last to move asset. Everyone's really kind of saying, like, when XRP's, breaks out, it's going to happen so quick, it's going to happen overnight. A lot of people even over here are starting to hate XRP. Honestly, when we look at XRP, yes, I mean, this is going to be a grueling process. I mean, look at going back to May of 2017. During this entire time, leading all the way up to around December of 2017, it looked like, all was lost. All hope was gone. And then we had that nice major breakout event. We've seen this even during 2013, 2014 as well. We had, sort of this nice sideways momentum. Again, this was for a few months, but it's still around that same time frame where we did break out. This topped out around like December. Then we did top out around like January. Who knows? Maybe we will top around February of 2023. It's hard to say. I think that it happened sooner than expected. I think that, in fact, when we look at this current market, I think that we are basically at a moment in time where we will most likely see a lot of topping points during summer into the fall time frame. Most likely still kind of repeating that 2017-2018 process, except a little bit earlier. It's more so, kind of looking at 2013-2014, where we did see the topping points at around, it was basically like December, November for most altcoins. Again, XRP was in December when it really topped out. So, that's basically what we are waiting to see. More so clarification on that from Bitcoin if we can see a nice impulse. But a lot of things are leading up to this. In fact, we are watching the US dollar. I've been addressing this multiple times. But we do see here the Central Bank of Israel just announced an investing philosophy change. They're dropping the US dollar for Chinese yuan. Are you paying attention yet? If you guys did miss it, here you guys have it. Breaking news. Israel adds Chinese yuan to $206 billion reserves in philosophy change. moving to reduce allocation for dollar euro. Things continue to evolve. Starting this year, the currency mix will expand from the trio of the US dollar, the euro, and the British pound to include the Canadian and Australian dollars, as well as the yen and the yuan. So when we look at this, I mean, guys, things are getting very, very interesting in terms of the US dollar. Today we've seen, a significant weakening point. But honestly, it looks like this is bouncing off that 10-day EMA, which I do not like. I actually want to see us break that 10-day EMA, which we have been kind of riding on since going back as far as April 4th. We haven't really broken down significantly through this. I mean, here and there we have been seeing some nice weakness points. But I'm still looking forward to seeing a retest of that 50-day EMA at about like 98.65. The best point would be retesting that 200-day EMA at about like 95.98. So I'm really kind of watching this very, very closely to see if we are going to top out around this point. I think that this is in that long rolling process similar to 2020 during even April of that time frame, where most likely we will see that long, massive pullback happening very soon. But it's going to take a little bit of a time base here. It could happen in around May time. It could happen tomorrow. Could happen this week, next week. We have to watch the dollar closely to see if we are going to see a repeat of, again, 2020 in terms of that COVID crash era, where we did see that multi-year bear market to around January 2021, which did cause a lot of altcoins to go crazy. I just showed you the ZRX and SNX price chart. It's going to be a very similar time to that. I have been watching this one closely, though, as we do kind of break down below the moving average on the RSI. I'm hoping that this kind of continues to play out in a bearish divergence, because if that is the case, it will allow for this market to recover very, very fast. Now, as we do see this, I also want to show you guys a major update from Standard Chartered CEO here. Listen closely to this, guys. This is pretty interesting from Bill Winters himself, talking about basically the potential of disruption from digital currencies and how it will change the way banks operate in the future.
We have countries like Switzerland and China all testing out the digital currencies. How are you gearing up for the disruption of money with central bank digital currencies? How will it change the way you and other banks operate in future?
Probably fundamentally. While we're not formally involved, no foreign banks are involved in the Chinese ECNY, I think we're as close to that as we can be to understand how that digital currency can be used for cross-border trade. Going back 5 years, we had digital currency underpinned trade finance and money settlement systems, and using as a medium of exchange, using things like Ripple's XRP, for example, as a medium to affect real-time cross-border payments. And we learn through each one of these pilots, and we realize that these things can be cheaper and faster with lower settlement risk, which is a good thing for the system. If the underlying currency that you're using as a medium of exchange is unstable, Bitcoin, for example, it's very volatile.
And he's basically saying here that, underpinning, financial systems with XRP would be more suitable than Bitcoin, because of volatility. We've actually heard Brad Garlinghouse himself talk about how XRP is less volatile because of how quick it actually settles. Bitcoin, because it takes so long to actually settle, and I know people are going to say the Lightning Network. Guys, the Lightning Network does not solve anything. It just solves the easiest point that Ripple has already solved years ago, which is just a faster payment. It doesn't settle as fast. It still has volatility tied to it. When we look at volatility, it is directly correlated to how long an asset can settle a payment in the time that the actual price of that asset changes. Meaning, for an example, okay, think about the dollar, right? Say for so if I made a payment, we'll just say, I don't know, so this bottomed out at around the 30th. So typically it's like about 3 to 5 days. Okay, we'll just say, here we have the 25th, right? The value of the dollar was at around like 98.89. By the time that this actually settled, the value of the dollar was actually at about 97.6 or 72. So if you're looking at it, it's actually a little more volatile than most assets, including XRP. Because if I made a payment in XRP, it would take 3 to 5 seconds in order for that payment to actually settle. And in that 3 to 5 seconds, how drastic of a change in price on XRP are we actually going to see? You know, that's the main point here. Especially if you look at like Bitcoin, if it takes minutes or hours to settle, it's going to be fairly volatile. But listen closely for the rest of this.
As we know, although it's also big and liquid. Finding the trade-offs so that the system can actually be safer and cheaper and more effective, and at the same time, suitable for the user who doesn't want to take any market risk or operational risk along the way. I think we're still figuring that out. And I think that's the big use case.
Is it only a matter of time before you get into Bitcoin trading for your clients?
It is only a matter of time and regulatory forbearance. Because right now, it's almost impossible for a bank to be a market maker in cryptocurrencies. The capital requirements, and let's just leave it at the capital requirements, are severe. So as a practical matter, you could play around a little bit, but we couldn't service our clients. The Bitcoin market is also largely a retail market, and there are real, both know your customer considerations.
Also, I just want to really quickly rehash what he's basically saying here. He's saying that regulatory, requirements are really kind of holding back these banks from offering, really a stepping stone into crypto for their, financial institutional clients, higher grade clients, banks to offer, again, crypto operations, crypto use cases, and things like that. Crypto services are growing in terms of demand from these financial institutions and banks. It's just the fact that regulations are actually holding them back from doing so. And we are going to talk about that here shortly.
But also customer risk considerations. So I think we're away from that. Much more interesting is playing in the metaverse underlying ecosystem, which is more likely to be based on Ether or Ethereum, because that market is more supervised and a little bit more relevant in terms of being used as a medium of exchange or as a reference point. So I imagine some would think that the metaverse is a fad, or that the virtual world is a fad, or the digital assets are a fad. I don't think so. I think they're here to stay because they provide an underlying service to the digital economy that is different than what a fiat currency can provide. Customers want to use these instruments. We're just beginning to understand how they can be used.
And I also want you guys to understand that he's basically saying that we are very early in this market. I mean, they're just understanding what crypto is doing, understanding the overall potential behind it as well. This is also what leads me to my next major stepping stone here. So we do see here, Smart Sync Services India notes Intellect Design Arena, IGTB, has worked with Ripple pilots in their Q1 2022 report, noting crypto adoption has been slow in India. Regulation matters. And we actually do see here, the company has done pilot partnerships with Ripple in the past, but the adoption is still very slow here in the blockchain space for the company to make a big venture into it. Now, as we do see this, I agree with Johnny over here when he's saying, Ben saying this on our Good Morning Crypto show every day. Regulation matters and will bring instant credibility and a tsunami of institutional money to the cryptocurrency space. That's when you will want to sell a little, just a little though. And honestly, yes, similar to what, Bill Winters is saying here, regulations are holding a lot of money back. It's a tsunami of capital that will flow into this market. We are very close to that day. I've been addressing this even in terms of the SEC lawsuit. That SEC lawsuit, for anyone that is in crypto, that maybe you don't support Ripple, maybe you don't support XRP, maybe you don't even hold XRP, you should be watching it closely because regulations are going to be a pivotal stage in crypto adoption and money flowing into this market that is going to change the entire landscape for digital currencies. It's going to drastically change everything going forward once regulations are, put in place. So, with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.